Hi guys, and welcome back to your last portion of the Q&A. 33 Awakening, Manifesting, Love and Freedom, Questions Answered, Part 5. Number 29, if you're following along in your PDFs, is what is the Pyramid of Consciousness and how to tap into the flow. So I've mentioned this a gazillion times before. The Pyramid of Consciousness is right here. I've created this pyramid for you, and it aligns the different chakras that you have right there, the frequencies, starting from the lower vibrational states. And your bottom frequencies, your bottom chakras is starting from the root, from the very bottom. As you see on this map, from the very bottom, you're starting up at the base of the spine, and that is where your root chakra is, an energetic field, and this is the frequency that you're exhibiting out of your body of under 76, and it can be actually measured. So here you are feeling guilt as a result of your underlying subconscious beliefs. You are feeling shame, blame, you have issues of abandonment. As you elevate yourself up higher, you go into the sacral chakra, which is just 2 inches below your navel, below your belly button, and this is where you experience grief and apathy. And the vibrational state above this is the solar plexus, the chakra that's above, at the level of below 200. This is where you experience pride, anger, jealousy, fear. That's pretty much at the center of your right between your chest and your belly button. So in this abdomen area is your solar plexus, and these 3 lower vibrational states, these 3 lower chakras, all underneath the 200 frequency that you're exhibiting, that reflects out from your body. 95% of people, 95% of the population live in this victim abuser consciousness, where they're blaming life, circumstances, people on the way that they are. And when you're done with these 3 lower vibrational states, then you, at the level of 200, cross the chasm. That's the heart chakra, and that's at the center of your chest. That's when you begin to have courage. You speak up, you begin the forgiveness process, whether you are doing it with Ho'oponopono, which is the mantra on YouTube, or a different forgiveness practice that you choose. You begin to feel the sense of acceptance, elevating up through the chakras. You are now at the throat chakra, which is located at your throat. The color is blue here, and you're starting to feel love finally. You're starting to reason with reality. Your creative expression unfolds. Then the 6th chakra, your third eye, is between the 2 eyebrows, is where your flow is, your idea of non-duality. You begin to embrace it here. Your idea of oneness, you begin to realize that you are playing a part in this conscious creation, of which we are all a divine expression of. This is where you begin to feel the sense of presence, bliss. You are manifesting here. You're experiencing instant manifestations. And then the crown chakra, your last chakra, is enlightenment, is your inspiration, is your sense of divinity, where you know that life is happening for you and not to you. So as you see here, those all the frequencies correlate with the chakras. Frequencies are actually energetic fields, vibrations that are measured as a result of your thoughts, your inner being, your blueprint that's actually exerted out of your body. So it's very scientific to live a better life. All you have to do is figure out where on the pyramid of consciousness you are and work your way up slowly. You can have moments of bliss, obviously, of presence, of flow, of love, and acceptance that are short-lived unless you have gone through these lower vibrational states to release yourself from your past. So as you look at the right side of this pyramid of consciousness chart, you will see that first and foremost, most of us begin with physiological needs, as our breathing, food and shelter, fitness level, our sex, sleep, water. We all begin with these basic needs, and as we ascend up the chakras, the levels of consciousness, then we enter into the safety need after the physiological need. And the safety need is the security of the body, our employment status, our family, our health, property, and financial abundance. Then as we elevate ourselves up, we are at about the frequency of solar plexus, the heart. Now we're entering into love, feeling, belongings, friends, family, sexual intimacy. Then beyond this love and belonging, we are entering the self-esteem zone, where we are now at the throat chakra. We are feeling more confident, we're achieving, we feel more respected, we speak our truth, and we trust our intuition. And then last but not least is our self-actualization and contribution, which is at the higher levels of consciousness on the pyramid of consciousness. It's that sense of freedom, our contribution, our full expression, impacting all of humanity, trusting our divinity, releasing our need for attachment, and this is where spontaneous healing and manifesting occurs. So this is the pyramid of consciousness. It goes by many different names: scale of consciousness, in the power versus force, consciousness scale, consciousness vibrating scale, vibrational scale of consciousness. And I've decided to call this the pyramid of consciousness because it reminds me of a pyramid, because the body to me is like an Egyptian pyramid. It goes up like this, and majority of the people, live in these lower vibrational states, which is the thicker part of the pyramid. And the more you venture inwards and go on your own transformational journey, the smaller the pool of people becomes that you are in resonance with. And as a matter of fact, when you are transforming yourself and realizing these lower vibrational states and chakras, your pool of friends will become much more selective, and you will enjoy much more specific ways of being surrounded by specific types of people that are more uplifting, because your vibrational state, your frequency is going to be elevated. So that's the pyramid of consciousness. It's different vibrational states we all live in, and we have to acknowledge every single one of them, every single level of consciousness, in order to elevate up so we can tap into the flow and experience enlightenment and peace and love and bliss and joy. The next question is how to maintain a flow state. Okay, so if we go back into this pyramid, flow state is at the higher vibrational state. So it's definitely between the heart and crown chakra is where our flow state is. So in order to maintain it, we have to understand these lower vibrational states, where they come from, and transform our stories, so that way when these same stories about guilt, shame, blame, abandonment, pride, our jealousy, our fears, when they say same stories reflect back to us through other people, that we no longer have a need to react, because we have worked through these stories. And this requires a high level of discipline, a high level of courage, and continuous forgiveness practices, and continuous daily ritual practices, as I teach you, to tap into the frequency of peace, love, and understanding tuning into you at the beginning of every day. So you've got to do the work in order to maintain yourself at these higher states of consciousness on the pyramid of consciousness, at the higher states, which is the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. So basically in between your chest and the top of the head, that's where the higher chakras are. In order to maintain at this area, you have to first work out the lower vibrational states. So that way, every time a story is being reflected back to you through other people, you're not reacting because you know where they come from, because you've worked through this already. So in order to maintain your flow state, you have to do the work daily. You're manifesting, your daily rituals, your forgiveness practices, your physiological, your movement. You've got to exercise. In order to maintain flow state, you've got to actually work on getting into it in the beginning of every day, changing your stories, and then being very patient with yourself as you're going through a path of transformation with your chosen expressive outlet, like writing or whatever you choose to help you connect the dots. Okay. Nice. Good job, guys. I'm really proud of us. question 31 in part 5 is, how is everything connected, and why does every thought and feeling matter? As I previously mentioned, we are all part of one consciousness, from which we are a divine expression of divinity, a perfect expression of love. But what's operating above, which makes our heart beat, is something much bigger than us. And we all have a purpose. And this is how we are all connected. We are all connected to the same thing that allows the heart to beat. And that is what's most important in this world, is to realize that this heartbeat is operating from the heart, is loving, is speaking from the heart, is the most important thing we can do for ourselves. And how we're all connected is because we all have a heartbeat. We've all gone through similar struggles, if not the same, when we were kids. We all have the same core beliefs. We all want to be loved, want to feel like we're good enough, want to feel like we're contributing. And when we don't feel those things, because we didn't feel them when we were kids, then we search for them through different avenues in life. And when we can finally find a way to feel those things by being with ourselves, going on our own awakening journey, then we start to see that all of these external things don't really mean much, because it's all about how we feel inside. It's all about us feeling this sense of fulfillment, no matter what happens on the outside. So the sense of oneness that we begin to experience is when we realize that we are not separate from other people. We may choose to not want to spend time with people, that's fine, but we are not different than them. Everything that we experience, we had asked for our own personal growth. So everything is a gift. And every person just delivers to us aspects of ourselves, which we still need to work on. Okay? Great. 32, how to change my thoughts and feelings. That requires a repetition to do your daily rituals, as I previously mentioned, and I teach you these. That we spend a whole week on those. When you are repeating a brand new story, when you're creating a brand new story about your life, the way that your parents loved you, when you begin understanding these 5 love languages and how your parents loved you versus how you wanted to love it, versus how you wanted to be loved. And you start reprogram that, you start changing yourself, you start changing your story, you start inputting new information into your DNA, upgrading your operating system. So when you're doing your daily rituals and you repeat and do these practices every day, the forgiveness practices, the meditation, the visioning, the repeating of the new story, the acknowledging divine synchronicities, doing your gratitude journal, doing your I am affirmations in the mirror, you're tuning yourself into the frequency of peace, love, and understanding. You're tuning into you. And as a result of repetition, your thoughts begin to change over time. And how you know you have changed? By what you see reflected back to you through other people. You begin seeing how your thoughts become the words that come through someone else. Okay. So yes, so the way to change your thoughts is with repetitions, realizing the story, the past story, creating a new story. And obviously, if you are changing your thoughts, then you have changed your feelings. Because what's your dominant thought? What's your blueprint? Once you have created a new blueprint, your feelings automatically change. And 33, what is contribution and how to live a life bigger than myself? Oops. Oh, let's close these out. So what is contribution? Contribution is realizing that there are people out there that need what you have. If you are an author, for example, like me, realizing that there are people out there that need to hear and read your message because they're struggling with the same things. That's contribution, is focusing on people out there that need what you have. Perhaps you've overcome something they need to know. Contribution is focusing not on yourself, but on the world around you, which needs your services and expertise in order to be better, in order to live better, in order to thrive, in order to heal. So when you get out of your head, when you go on your own transformation, you heal yourself first, and now you're ready to share. Now you are ready to experience what true freedom is. And that is contribution to the world. And that is making this world a better place. That is using your form of expression to transform other people's lives. So that does not happen overnight. Obviously, you got to get through these lower vibrational states first. Obviously, you have to learn how to breathe. You have to provide for yourself. You have to have a certain level of financial abundance for your family and for yourself before you can even start thinking about other people. But it's possible. You know, when you go through these lower vibrational states and you're learning how to manifest, how the manifesting process works, then you're beginning to navigate not in the matrix. You're beginning to live a life for yourself, for your bliss. And then eventually you're ready to share those gifts and what you've learned with other people. So create your vision board, 7F Manifesting. Do your daily rituals. Re-listen to these audios if you need to. Remember, you may have not gotten everything right off the bat because there's a lot of information in this Q&A that it's taken me years to put together. So don't worry about if you didn't understand certain things or certain things were weird. I just want you to know that you're doing great. And the last thing I forgot to mention is that in the course, I do a lot of something I call light language. And what that is, it's a channeling. I basically open up to source, consciousness, to be able to speak through me, to be able to do whatever sounds it wants to do. So you may experience a lot of different sounds. They all help with the expansion of all there is, with the frequency, vibrational shift. So that is what light language is. Light language is just letting go of needing to control whatever is being transmuted from source, from higher consciousness, and just letting it transmute so it can elevate and transform all those in resonance with it. So that's light language. That's trusting the intuition, trusting source, and letting the beauty unfold, come out without needing to control it. It's not something that I can control, and it's not something that I know what's going to happen next. So all kinds of different sounds are going to come out, but they're all necessary in order to upgrade frequency and vibrational shift. So you're going to experience a lot of that in the course, and I just wanted to make sure that I mention it here. So make sure you take as many notes as possible, and after listening to all this, I want you to get up and go do some exercise. And if you could do that after every session, that would be amazing, because exercising is going to be your integration to living your delicious life. I love you all so much. I'm proud of you for getting through the Q&A. I love you, and namaste.